Your brain isn't overthinking. It's running a four-function strategic operating system that most people can't even see. You know that feeling when you're in a meeting and you can see exactly how the conversation is going to unfold before anyone else even catches on? When you know who's going to clash, who's going to cave, and what the real agenda is behind all the corporate speak? That's your cognitive operating system running at full capacity. And trust me, it's not just intuition or empathy. It's four hidden psychological functions working together to give you strategic advantages that most people can't even comprehend, let alone replicate. Before we start, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Today I'm going to break down the four cognitive functions that create the INFJ strategic mind. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your brain operates like a psychological warfare system disguised as sensitivity. Before we start, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our weekly deep dives into the world of personality types. And if you're looking for a deeper understanding of yourself and your INFJ personality, browse our favorite INFJ products in the description and click the link in the comments to take our favorite free personality test. The intelligence gathering system, introverted intuition plus extroverted feeling. Let's start with your dominant function, introverted intuition. Now, most people think intuition is just gut feelings and lucky guesses. That's not what's happening in your mind. Your introverted intuition function is pattern recognition on steroids. It's constantly scanning for connections that others miss, building invisible maps of how situations develop over time. When you walk into a room, you're not just seeing what's happening now. You're seeing the trajectory of what's coming next. This isn't magic. It's your brain processing massive amounts of subtle information and extrapolating outcomes based on patterns you've unconsciously cataloged. You see the micro-expressions, the power dynamics, the unspoken tensions. Then your introverted intuition connects those dots into a predictive model. But here's where it gets dangerous. Your auxiliary function, extroverted feeling, acts as your emotional intelligence radar. While everyone else is listening to what people say, you're reading what they actually mean. Extroverted feeling doesn't just make you empathetic, it makes you a human lie detector. You pick up on emotional undercurrents, hidden motivations, and masked intentions. You feel the room's energy like a barometric pressure system, sensing storms before they hit. Now combine these two functions. Your introverted intuition sees the patterns and predicts the outcomes. Your extroverted feeling reads the emotional landscape and understands the human variables. Together, they create something that feels almost psychic to other people. You can predict who will betray whom in a group project. You know which relationships are doomed before the couple even realizes they're having problems. You see through manipulation tactics that fool everyone else because your system is designed to detect authenticity versus performance. This is why people call you overthinking when you're actually doing advanced psychological profiling. Your brain is running calculations they can't see, processing data they can't access, and reaching conclusions that seem to come from nowhere. But here's what others don't understand about this intelligence gathering system. It's not passive. You're not just randomly absorbing information. Your introverted intuition is specifically hunting for strategic advantage. It wants to know how systems work, where the leverage points are, and how to navigate complex human dynamics. Your extroverted feeling isn't just feeling emotions, it's mapping influence networks. Who has real power versus who has titles? Who are the decision makers versus who are the performers? Who can you trust versus who's playing games? This combination creates what I call psychological X-ray vision. You see through facades, past surface interactions, into the core motivations and power structures that actually drive behavior. And the crazy part? You do this automatically. Whenever someone takes conversations at face value, your system runs a background analysis of every interaction. You're building psychological profiles, predicting behavioral patterns, and identifying strategic opportunities without even trying. This is why INFJs often feel like they're living in a different reality than everyone else. Because you literally are. Your intelligence gathering system gives you access to layers of information that most people never even know exist. The problem is that when you try to explain what you're seeing, it sounds paranoid or overthinking to people who can't access the same data streams. They think you're being dramatic when you're actually being strategic. The decision architecture, introverted thinking plus extroverted sensing. Now let's talk about your tertiary function, introverted thinking. This is where most people completely misunderstand the INFJ mind. They see your extroverted feeling and assume you're all feelings, no logic. They're missing the internal framework that makes your strategic insights actually work. Your introverted thinking function is like having a private laboratory in your mind. While your introverted intuition and extroverted feeling are gathering intelligence, your introverted thinking is stress testing everything. It's asking the hard questions. Does this pattern actually hold up under scrutiny? Are there logical flaws in my prediction? What assumptions am I making that could be wrong? This isn't the same as extroverted thinking that other types use. You're not trying to organize the external world or impose systems on other people. You're building internal models of how things actually work. You're creating frameworks that help you understand the underlying mechanics of human behavior and social systems. Here's what makes this dangerous. Your introverted thinking takes all that intuitive pattern recognition and emotional intelligence data, then runs it through logical analysis. You're not just feeling that someone is untrustworthy. You can articulate exactly why, with specific behavioral evidence and logical reasoning. You can break down manipulation tactics step by step. You can explain why certain group dynamics are unsustainable. You can predict organizational failures based on structural problems that others can't see. Your introverted thinking enables you to turn hunches into strategies. But then there's your inferior function, extroverted sensing. Most people think inferior extroverted sensing makes INFJs impractical dreamers. Again, they're wrong. Your extroverted sensing is actually your reality check system. It grounds your abstract insights in practical action. When your extroverted sensing is engaged, you become incredibly decisive. You stop analyzing and start moving. You take calculated risks based on all that intelligence your other functions have gathered. You make strategic moves that seem bold to others, but are actually carefully planned. The introverted thinking and extroverted sensing loop is where your strategic power becomes visible to the outside world. Introverted thinking provides the logical framework for action. Extroverted sensing provides the practical execution. Together, they turn your psychological insights into real-world results. Think about it this way. Your introverted intuition and extroverted feeling system identifies opportunities and threats. Your introverted thinking and extroverted sensing system converts that intelligence into strategic action. You see what's coming. You understand why it's happening. You develop a logical response. And then you execute with precision. This is why INFJs can seem passive for long periods, then suddenly make moves that shock everyone around them. You're not being impulsive. You've been gathering data, running analysis, and waiting for the right moment to act. When you finally move, it's with the full weight of your entire cognitive system behind it. Your decision architecture allows you to be both deeply thoughtful and decisively action-oriented. You can sit in meetings saying very little while your system processes everything, then make one comment that completely shifts the entire dynamic. You can observe relationship problems for months, then have one conversation that either saves the relationship or strategically ends it. The strategic operating system in action. Here's how all four functions create a feedback loop that gives you unfair strategic advantages. Your system runs continuous cycles of intelligence gathering, analysis, and strategic positioning. You walk into any social or professional situation and immediately start profiling. Your introverted intuition identifies the patterns and power structures. Your extroverted feeling reads the emotional landscape and interpersonal dynamics. Your introverted thinking analyzes the logical frameworks and potential vulnerabilities. Your extroverted sensing identifies practical opportunities for action. This creates what I call strategic omniscience. You can predict group dynamics before they fully develop. You know who will align with whom, who will conflict, and where the pressure points are. You can see multiple moves ahead in social and professional chess games. In negotiations, you have massive advantages. You can read the other party's real motivations, predict their likely responses, and identify their emotional triggers. You know when they're bluffing, when they're desperate, and when they're genuinely satisfied with an offer. In leadership situations, you can see organizational problems that others miss entirely. You understand both the human dynamics and the logical structures. You can predict which initiatives will fail due to people problems versus structural issues. You can identify the real influencers versus the official hierarchy. But here's what makes this truly unfair. Most people can't understand or replicate your strategic thinking process. They see your conclusions, but not your methodology. They think you're either lucky, psychic, or manipulative, when you're actually being systematically strategic. Your operating system processes information on multiple levels simultaneously. While others focus on immediate surface interactions, you're running deep background analyses on motivations, patterns, and long-term trajectories. You're playing a completely different game. This creates both opportunities and responsibilities. You have access to psychological insights that can be incredibly powerful. You can influence outcomes, predict behaviors, and navigate complex situations with unusual effectiveness. But with that power comes the responsibility to use it ethically. Your strategic advantages work because people don't realize you have them. The moment you start using your insights to manipulate or harm others, you're crossing ethical lines that your own value system won't tolerate. The key is learning to embrace your strategic nature while maintaining your integrity. You're not just a sensitive empath, you're a psychological strategist with unusual capabilities. Understanding this helps you stop apologizing for your insights and start leveraging them responsibly. So that's your cognitive operating system. 4 functions working together to create strategic advantages that most people can't understand or replicate. You're not overthinking. You're processing information at levels others can't access. Stop apologizing for seeing what others miss. Start embracing the strategic power of your mind. Click the link in the comments to take our favorite free personality test, and check out the other videos on our channel for more about INFJ psychology. Subscribe for more strategic insights. If you want to continue the journey to understanding yourself or an INFJ in your life, click either of the following videos, where we continue to unlock the secrets of the INFJ personality type.